All right, phenomenal morning, guys. Listen, I am your host, Shaan Rais, and this is another phenomenal segment of Breakfast with the Brand. So, welcome. If you guys are tuning in, go ahead, put some flames in the chat. Tell me some of your takeaways from last week. As a matter of fact, we're going to have Junior Frederick come out in a moment. Right now, he's probably pulling some mangoes, eating fresh mangoes and making fresh tea or whatever they do, where the nature is abundant, right? It's kind of hard to do that stuff or understand that stuff when you're in the what we call the concrete jungle or anything close to it, right? But just take some takeaways. Yes. Welcome, Andrea from Scat. Now, I'm not going to try to do that wrong, but Canada. Okay, that's close enough. We got somebody from Canada. Jackie, good morning. Good morning. Phenomenal morning to you. Listen, guys, we had such a good segment last week that we're going to continue, and I'm going to kind of be the interviewer. Junior's going to be answering the questions, right? So it's a little bit different. I want you guys to understand what it looks like for the operations side, what it really looks like. So you kind of have an idea of what takes place day to day in a business, right? Because as the CEO, I'm not always in every single move within the business, but it still has to be done. Siobhan, good morning. It still has to be done, guys. So I want you to think when you're building your business, you're building your brand, what takes place on a day-to-day? What really takes place on a day-to-day? Because you as the CEO, you as the brand, the leader, you'll have to do these things until you can successfully duplicate yourself, and then someone else comes out and they're able to do it, hopefully to a better level than you, right? So write that down if you didn't catch that. You want to duplicate yourself into someone who's able to perform the tasks better than you. And I know sometimes as CEOs and as the leader, it's hard to see that and say that. You're kind of like, oh no, well, nobody can do it better than me. And we kind of have a tight grip on the operations and day-to-day practices and day-to-day tactics of the business. But if you exist in operations, you'll never be able to exist where you should be. And that is making connections and really concentrating on super high level value activities. Okay, so with no further ado, go ahead, Mr. B, if you could bring out Mr. Junior Frederick so he can add a little bit of light to this, add a little bit of light to this day-to-day operations and what takes place in the business. So, Mr. Frederick, good morning. Welcome to Breakfast with the Brand.
Very funny. Morning. Phenomenal morning, everybody. How you doing? Thank you, Shaan.
Yes,
So,
definitely. Guys, honestly, let me say this first, like the first point of this segment and last segment is you will not be able to succeed on your own. You'll be able to succeed to a level, but you'll never be able to break through that glass ceiling in your earnings or in your impact without having someone else ride with you. It just won't happen. You need a team. You need a team. Good morning, Jasmine. Good morning, Jackie. You need a team. It's going to take more of you than you to get this thing done. So I was lucky enough, and as a CEO, you kind of want to be able to intuit and interpret and have intuition about the people around you and know who is able to maximize impact and to help you get where you're trying to go. And for me, that was none other than Junior Frederick. So just, put some flames in the chat if you guys have been touched by Junior at any time during your experience with the brand. If you know who he is, if you know what he does, if you know how much he cares, if you know how much he works, put that in the chat. Let him get some love this morning before we go to our first break. Let him get some love this morning. Give them some recognition, some flames in Flames. Okay, that's what he says. He says we live in a flame culture. He says we have a
Yes, I
flame
do.
culture at the brand, right?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do, Sean. It seems like I see the flames coming. I want to say good morning to everybody here. Like, thank you so much. I'm deeply humbled. Everybody, Andrea, Jackie, Siobhan. We have two Jackies in the chat. So Jackie, I call one Jackie with the K, and then there's the OG Jackie, right?
Okay.
So,
Okay.
good
OG.
morning to all of you. Yeah, good morning. Thank you so much. Mhm.
All right. So before we begin, we got to pay bills. So go ahead, Mr. B. Roll that, and we'll be right back with day-to-day operations in a 6 to 7 figure business. All right. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. I want to thank Andrea on LinkedIn because he helped me and kind of gave me the phonetics. So Saskatchewan, Canada. We have listen, guys, when you build your business, if you do it the right way, it will not be geographically bound. It will not be geographically limited. You will have impact on people and it will reverberate around the world. We have an international brand and we serve the world to the highest degree possible. Okay. So just be aware of that and just think of the people that you're impacting with your brand. So, Junior, with no further ado, I believe that it's funny too because I just saw Jasmine's thing. She says you stay on 10 and you probably sleep in your suit. It's a good thing, right? It
Yes,
sounds
you do.
funny, yes, but it's a good thing because I used to get the same comments about 2 years ago about the white shirt and red tie. He said this guy
Mhm.
got it like it's glued on, like it doesn't come off. So
Yeah,
yeah, so you're in a good place. You're in a good place. When we
right.
left off last week, we only got to like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, right? We did the morning. We did from 9 to 12, and then from 12 to 1, you try to take a break and get away for a moment if you can. Step outside for 2 seconds, get some air if that's possible. What happens around the afternoon, like 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock? What does that look like?
All right. So 1 o'clock. Let's see. 1 o'clock. I'm stepping on the gas. That's what I'm doing.
What does
So
that mean?
whatever. So what that means is I need to finish the day strong, like super strong. So I'm not. So this is not the time to um, take a. I take a short break, but that's it. But that this is the time to press on the gas. So whatever it is that I'm doing, whether it's sales, marketing, whatever it is, I try to 10x my effort in the afternoon
Mm.
to finish the day strong. So that's what I do. Yeah, so that's what I do, and that involves if I'm on the phone, for example, I do multiple things. So I might be on the phone, I might be sending out emails, whatever that is. I'm probably making like 50 calls, 50 between 50 to 100 calls in the afternoon.
Hold on. Hold on. Say that again.
I said I'm normally making between 50 to 100 in the afternoon. Like I'll set it up and I'll just keep going. I'll keep going. I'll leave voice messages, text messages, whatever.
Hold on, hold on, hold on. I'm trying to wrap my head around it, right? Because we live in a digital economy. We
Right.
live in a digital online world. Are you saying that you can't just flick and click?
No, no,
No.
no, you can't just do that. Like you have to be. So this is it. Like you have to be a master of everything. So what happens? Remember recently we had this thing happen with Facebook where Facebook went down. Remember that? Guys, if you remember when
Yeah.
Facebook went down, put a one in the chat. That doesn't matter
Mm,
to me if Facebook goes down. I just pick up my phone. If Facebook
mm.
goes down, I pick up my phone. Like whenever I have an internet connection,
So you saying
I
this isn't just for going live?
no, it's not. It's not. It's whatever you want it to be. So you
So
could
you
choose.
call people.
Yeah, of course I call people. I call
I'm
people all.
just I'm just trying to find out because I don't know if people are really using their phone to call people. I don't know if they really understand that that's a component of business. No, so when you call people, what is the purpose?
Or the purpose. All right. So this is what I say. I say, phenomenal day. This is Junior calling from Omni Solutions Consultation. I'm calling you for two reasons. One, I want to see if there's a problem, a challenge, or something that I could give to you that could take you from where you are right now to where you want to be. And
Hmm.
two, I just wanted to touch base with you to introduce myself. That's it. So I'm giving them value and I'm introducing myself. So
Okay.
that's it.
Okay. If you guys were able to catch that introduction, you really might want to write that down. Sounds simple, right? Sounds simple, but it is a system.
Of course.
Sounds simple, but it is a system. And systems and processes get predictable results. It's
Yeah.
not just winging it or hoping. Hope is not a strategy. And we do business primarily, we're online. But some of the business that you'll have to do, some of the tasks will take you offline in order to grow your online business. So don't just look at your phone as a flick and click, scroll and roll, don't
Mhm.
do that. Use your phone for what it was for, connecting with people. Connecting, he said, meeting people and introducing himself. So connecting, creating relationships, and adding value, finding gaps. And what else? What else takes place during an afternoon at the Shaan Rais brand? What else takes place during those hours, 1 to 3? What does that look?
So those hours depends on the day of the week. We're normally preparing for the calls. So if I'm doing
Mm,
the action call, I'm normally just finding creative ways really and truly to give more value. So I think on some of the previous action calls, and if you don't know what the action call is, the action call is something that we do inside the leadership leverage executive coaching community, which is a high level coaching community where we teach what we do. So if you heard about crickets to digits, or if you want to build any sort of business, a 7 figure, 8 figure business, this is where we give you the step by step blueprint. So what I'll do, I might find creative ways, just mix it up. I might drop some templates. I might do something, I like to make it different. So sometimes I might reward the people who come early. I say, hey guys, you came early. I might
Mm,
give some templates. Hey, take this, take me out of it, put you into it, use it for your business. Stuff that
okay.
I've used. So I that's what I'm normally doing. Apart from that, I do take a break at 4 p.m.
Oh, what is that break about? Hold on, let me check my logs. Person, what is that 4 o'clock?
The four,
What is that
that's
4 o'clock break about?
that's when I have my lunch. Well, whatever you want to call it, a meal. That's when I
Okay,
normally eat during the day.
hold on. So you're saying you actually eat?
Yes, of course. I love food, Sean. I love food. I love eating. So I actually do
Okay,
eat. Yeah.
okay. Because we do so much work. Sometimes it seems like we don't eat, and entrepreneurs pay attention. Burgeoning, blossoming, and becoming CEOs pay attention. Fast food is not sustainable. Fast food is not sustainable. So even though you're busy, even though you have so many things to do, you're probably going to want to think about how to eat as healthily as possible. Because if you break, everything breaks. If you get sick, everything is sick. If you can't come to work, there is no business. I just wanted to go ahead and add that to it. Go ahead, Junior. So after your break, what does that look like?
After my break,
Yeah.
I'm normally going at it again. Maybe I might stop to assess, like, how are we doing? What are the numbers? What is the numbers for the day?
Hold on, hold on. Let's explain that. Let's explain that for the burgeoning CEOs and entrepreneurs. What do you mean by check the numbers?
Well, okay. So put it this way. So to everybody who's listening, your business, you want to take off with your business. So while your plane is in the air, you have to check, like, where are you on the map? Like, are you moving towards your numbers? Your number is your goal. So your number could be, it could be a monetary number. It could be a certain number of emails. Your number is a check mark, a checkpoint, um, that lets you know that you're moving towards your specific desired target. So we have to check numbers every single day, because if you don't win the day, then you lose the week, then you lose the month, then you lose the year. So
Wow.
you have to assess, like, you have to do some sort of assessment. So this is a key, right? So everybody write this down. What you can do, for example, one tip is, at the beginning of the week, set some goals. At the end of the week, assess your activity. So if your activity, so how are your goals and your activity related? So for example, if I want to do, let's just say, for example, I want to lose 10 pounds. This a random example. At the beginning of the week. At the end of the week, if my activity was, I went to a McDonald's, I did I didn't work out, or I watched Netflix. So if your activity has nothing to do with your goal, it most likely means that you've forgotten about your goal. Most people, they set goals. For example, they set goals in January. Now it's in February. Like, most people don't even remember what they said in January. You understand? It's like
Mm.
new year, new me, right? New year, new me. It's February. Most people already forgot. So you want to write down your goals, and you want to assess your activity. So you could be working and wasting your time. So does your
Ooh, say that
activity,
again. Hold on.
you
Say that
could be
again.
you could be working and wasting your time. So here's something a lot of entrepreneurs do. They keep themselves busy to keep themselves from actually doing the work. So for example, you need to make sales
Hold
for
on,
your.
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Stop right there. Hold on.
Okay.
Mr. B, let's go to a break. We'll be right back. I want you to say what that is when you come back. just for one moment, I want you guys to take an assessment. So Junior said take an assessment. I want to take an assessment. Do you guys enjoy the commercials? Right? I've heard some people say that they're dancing around in the mornings, they listening to the music. Like
Yeah.
if you guys like enjoy the music and the commercials that we have, just put some flames in the chat. Let me know how that's working out for you, if it makes sense. You know, if it's motivational, inspirational, educational, and any other kind of ational that you can possibly think of, right? If it moves you early in the morning, put some flames in the chat. Let me know. And then, Junior, you said something before we went to break that was absolutely epic. And I want you to lean into that and explain that for the people. You said that people stay busy to keep themselves from actually doing the work.
Yes, sir.
What do you mean
Yes,
by
sir.
that?
Man, let me tell you, when I remember back in the day, right? Way back in the day, when I was probably like 7, 8, my mom, like every parent, they ask their kids to do chores, right?
Yes.
That's take out the trash, wash the dishes, this sort of stuff, right? So my mom asked me to do something. Now I was always a smart kid, right? So I'm like, how can I not do this? Right. So I'm saying, well, I would love to do it, but I don't have time. Because I was going to school, I have things to do, I have little projects that I'm doing, I just don't have time. So I told my mom, I just don't have the time to do this, right? And she's like,
Mm,
boy, you could be working and wasting your time. I'm like, what? She said you could
working.
be working and wasting your time. And when I grew up, I understood productivity. That's what it is. Working and wasting your time is being unproductive. So what a lot of people do is they set, for example, they know that they have something that they need to do. And it links with what was called a fear of success, Shan. For example, they know that if I do this, I will be successful. If I take this step, it'll force me to be successful. And success is uncommon.
Mm,
And we fear things that we don't understand. So what people do, instead of dealing with the elephant in the room, they walk around the elephant. So they have, like, for example, I need to do X, Y, and Z for my coaching business. I need to launch an event. I need to go live, right? Instead of going live, they
yes.
do
Yes.
so. For example, they'll work on an email campaign. They'll put together some flyers. They'll go live on Clubhouse or whatever. They'll join a room. They'll do everything else except going live. They'll walk around the elephant instead of dealing with it. And so what I'm saying is, when you set a goal for yourself at the beginning of the week, your activity at the end of the week should relate to the goal that you set at the beginning of the week. Otherwise, what you're doing is you're self-sabotaging. You're
Mm.
sabotaging yourself. So
Let
you're
me
busy
just
but not productive.
let's okay. So productivity, predictability, guys, profitability, pay attention. Predictability, profitability, pay
Mhm.
attention. Now, I want to ask you a question, Junior, because I don't want to, be generalist on this, right?
Okay.
What kind of goals do we set here in this brand?
Are you asking me the actual goals?
Well, what do the numbers? So what do the goals entertain? What do they? Because I want someone who's paying attention, saying, "I'm trying to build my business. I don't know what kind of goals I should set. What goals should I be setting for my business?" You said to check activities at the end of the week, but check activities in relation to what goals. What goals move the needle
Oh,
in a business?
that's easy, Sha. It's monetary goals. You have to hit number goals. That's it. It's
Number
monetary.
goals.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of two things. Either you're making money or you're keeping money. So how
Mm.
much money are you making? How much money are you keeping? That's it. That's just simple. It's very
Wow.
simple like
Wow.
that. How much are you making? How much are you keeping? Doesn't matter if you make a million, if you lose a million. So if you make a million, how much are you keeping out of that million? So
Mm,
that goes into attraction, retention, optimization, systematization, everything. So how much are you making? How much are you keeping? That's it.
mm,
Now, Now check this out. Now it's so funny because it's at the same time it's not about the money though. So check this out. The money. So in other words, money is how you score.
Oh, this
However,
is going to be good, guys. This is going to be good. Pay attention. You might want to
write
take
this
out
down.
your pens. Go ahead. Go
This
ahead.
down. So,
I've heard
so
this before. Guys, get your pens out. Go ahead.
so money is how you score, but your personal development is the game, right? That's the game. Money is how you score. Your personal and professional development is the game. People watch the score, they don't watch the game. So they're looking at the money and then where's the money, but they're not looking at the game. What are you doing to improve your personal and professional performance?
Mm.
That's yourself. That's the game right there. The money is just how you score. Now, check this out. When you improve your game, you improve your score. So people like American football, right? People are look. I don't know too much about American football, but what I know is they show the goals on like this big screen, right? Have a big
Uh-huh.
screen. So everybody's looking at the big screen, but they're not looking at what's going on the field. On the field, what's going on is your personal and professional development. So how and it's all about tapping into your potential. That's all it is. So let me break something
We've
down.
used a lot of P words. You know, I love letters. I love words, right? So performance,
Yes.
potential, performance, predictability, profitability, productivity,
Uh-huh.
performance, and potential. Write those down, guys. Mr. B, put up one of Makia's phenomenal comments there. She says she agrees with Junior. She says you keep yourself busy from actually doing the work. Says I was guilty of that until I began sitting down every Saturday and assessing my productivity. Very good. So
Can I
yes,
give Makia a key? Can I give Makia something?
of
Guys,
course.
put some flames in the chat if you I don't want to lose anybody here, right? So
Okay.
put some flames in the chat if you understand what I'm saying and if this makes 100% sense. I'm about to give Makia a key and everybody here. Like it's very simple. Very, very simple. But let's see. I want to make sure that I'm relating to everybody that's listening. So put something in the chat if you can relate to what I'm saying. And if you see the value in what I'm saying here. All right, very good. So check this out. So write this down. One of the things that I did, it's all about being a high performer. One of the things that I did that allowed me to go to new levels in my performance is I took, let's say you could take a sheet of paper. So everybody looking, take a sheet of paper right now, take a pen, draw a line, one line down the middle of the sheet of paper.
Mm-hmm.
And on one end at the top, the left side, write down who I want to be. All right, write down who I want to be. And then if who you want to be, write down who you want to be. For example, I want to be a seven-figure entrepreneur. Most people want to go to seven figures. I want to be a seven-figure I want to be a CEO. I want to be a seven-figure entrepreneur. Or maybe you want to be fit. Maybe you want to be healthier. So whatever that goal is for you. And on the next side, write down who I am being. Being means, well, BEING, who I am being.
Hmm.
So write down who are you being. Now, this is where you be honest with yourself. So for me, I had to let go of who I was being to become who I want to be. Watch this. When you write down who you are being is now this is not anybody watching. I'm talking about myself. Back in the day, I was inconsistent, indecisive, fearful. I was um I ate too much, didn't work out. I did in other words, so when you write down these things, like you could write down a whole list, maybe 20 different things. Maybe you go out, maybe you don't sleep properly, maybe you go out, maybe you party too much, maybe you hang out with the wrong set of people. Who are you being?
Hmm.
And then look at the other side. And then you ask yourself, if I want to be a seven-figure entrepreneur, can I continue being this person?
Hmm.
Does a seven-figure entrepreneur not work out? As a seven-figure entrepreneur not eat right? Do they go out all the time? Do they hang out with the bad people? Do they not work on themselves? Do they not read? Most people don't read. I
That's
recently learned, I
no,
didn't know that.
that's
I recently learned that a lot of people, like the majority of the adult population, doesn't read. I had no idea. So, are you reading? Like, I have books all around me. I have like three books, three, four books right here on my desk. And I have one just came in today. So, are you reading? What are
mm,
you reading? Are you watching? People watch series all day. So if you want to go to seven figures, can you carry the activity or the behavior or the characteristics of who you are being? Can that person exist on the left side of your sheet of paper? And
mm.
that will tell you everything that you need to know. That
Wow.
will tell you everything that you need to know.
So that those are you're talking about a self-assessment.
Yes, yes.
Very interesting. I was going over some notes, and what a lot of people don't understand is that it takes what it takes. Right? It takes what it takes, and everybody wants it to take their recipe. Like everybody wants to make a chocolate cake, but they don't want to add eggs, right?
Mhm.
Or they don't want to add flour, they don't want to add salt, they don't want to add sugar, they don't want to wait the 45 minutes for it to bake, they don't want to do the things that are required to have the chocolate cake. We live in a microwave society. We live in a microwave mentality where everybody has a sense of entitlement. And I think a lot of times that social media has given people the inability to be productive on business media because your immediate answer is on a flick and click. You can literally put some words in, what is this and how much is this? You don't have to use your mind anymore. You can literally pull up a calculator at any time and add anything, and it's instantaneous. So people look at it as instantaneous. People meet in the club and want to just hook up. Like that's just an example, but people watch a movie and want to fast forward to the end. Nobody wants to go through the courting.
Mhm.
Like in business, there's a process. It takes time to do all of the things that you're talking about when you talk about the other side of the paper, all the things that you have to eliminate in order to implement in the space and in the void the activities that are productive, that do produce value and worth and merit and predictable results. That takes time. And I think that's where a lot of people get snagged.
Right, right. And can I speak to that, Chan?
Please do.
Before I do, guys, how many of you actually did the exercise? Like, I know it's a little bit of time, but how many of
Woo, there we go.
you how many of you
Yeah,
actually did?
let's share the screen and bring them up and let's see the paper if they did it.
Yeah, put it in the chat if you actually, even if you didn't write it, but you thought about what I was saying and you realize, like, man, there's a lot of stuff that I'm doing that I can't take into my new reality. Like, there's a lot
Mm,
of stuff I have to let go of, right? So if that's you, put a one in the chat if that's you, right? Put a one in the chat if that's you,
big
right,
stuff,
Sean?
guys. Big stuff. This will tell you. This will
Yeah,
tell you if you're doing the things that need to be done in order to get where you're trying to get.
it's true. And you know what I tell a lot of people. So what I've realized, Sean, it's initially it's a letting go process, and then you add on. So for example, not everybody starts at the starting line in business. The starting line in business, some people start behind the starting line, and there's no problem with that. But
Mm.
what we have to do, so for example, they might see Shaan Rais doing X, Y, and Z in the market, but they didn't know Shaan Rais started 10 years ago, right? So they judge their progress based on what they see other people doing. I tell people all the time, like, don't do that because people start at different points. So maybe I started here, maybe Shan started here. You understand? So
Mm.
not everybody starts at the starting line. You have to work your way up to the starting line so you can start. So you can start, right?
So you can
So,
start. That's right. That's
exactly.
right.
So when they don't take off, let's say they're doing this for 6 months, they don't take off, they feel discouraged. I say, no, you're coming from behind the starting line, right? And when you get to the starting line, that's when you really begin to add on. So in the beginning process, you take off. It's almost like having, if I had a 3-piece suit, I'll take off different pieces of that suit. In the beginning, you take off. So just like changing your attire to match your desire, you take off your initial attire, and then you add on your new attire. So you add on the new characteristics, you add on the new behaviors,
okay,
you add
okay.
on the new mindset that you need to go to the next level.
Sometimes
Yeah.
it seems counterintuitive, Junior.
Uh-huh.
Bring up Jackie's comment, Mr. B. Right? Yes, yes. Thank you for that. Yes, we have to run our own race. Bring up Jackie's comment because it takes a specific kind of individual to be honest with themselves and say that. So if I was wearing a hat, I would take it off to you right now. Right? Because that's an honest assessment. And you don't have to do that or say that. But by doing that, you're able to move forward.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Honesty and reflection is huge in business. Reflection is huge in business. Being contemplative and being realistic about where you are. Right? So a couple things that we do, and I want to go into this, and I'll probably be talking about this for a little while as we move forward through the beginning of this year, is mental conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
Mental conditioning and mental fitness. Because business is not easy, but it's worth it. And it takes what it takes. So one of the things that it takes is something called neutral thinking. Write that down. Neutral thinking. Everybody's into positive thinking, positive this. Maybe if I just, meditate the clouds away, it won't be a rainy day. I don't buy that, right? I've never bought that. What I have bought always is that we own the moment. Championship moments, write that down. Championship moments. You own the opportunity that is yours for the moment. Yesterday is gone. A lot of people are 55 living at 15. The trauma that took place at 15, whatever took place at 15. And those things that took place at 15, Junior, put those things on the list on the other side of the paper. When they say, I overeat, I sleep a lot, I'm this, I'm depressed, I'm that, it comes from what happened when we were 15 and when we were almost kids or a little bit after adolescence. Sometimes in our adulthood, but something will happen and we'll hold on to that and that'll stop us from progressing. But let me tell you this, and I want you to write this down, guys. The past is not predictive. I just feel like somebody needs to hear that this morning.
Mm-hmm.
The past is not predictive. The past is the past. Take ownership of it, accept it, and accept that yesterday's performance doesn't indicate how you're going to perform today. Today is a choice. Today is a choice. And remember this with the choice that you have. It takes what it takes. So you let go of the past, you live in the future, and you take control of the present. Or you live in the past, you go through the present, just check the box, and you sacrifice the future.
Mm-hmm.
I just had to say that. I had to say that, Junior, because it just, you sacrifice the future. You're sacrificing the future on the altar of the past.
Mm-hmm.
And you can never exist in the present, and you can't be productive. You can't ever get anything to be predictable. And you're wondering why things don't work. Things don't work because you're working against yourself.
That's right.
More than stinking thinking, if you monitor your vocabulary, a lot of times you'll notice that your mouth works against your heart. Now, we're doing speaking like a leader in a couple of weeks. Leaders don't speak negativity. Leaders do not speak negativity because negativity is more powerful than positivity. And this is evidence-based. It's evidence-based that one negative word will impact you more than 10 positive words. 10 positive words.
Yep.
So monitor your thoughts, monitor your words, because watch this. Your thoughts turn into words and your words turn into actions. Actions turn into behaviors and behaviors govern results.
That's so powerful. That's so powerful, Shaan. I think it might be somebody's birthday in the chat.
Yes, I see that. I see that. So we have Lillian who turns. Go ahead, put that up so it's not me saying it. You know, in case I get it wrong. Let me see it on the big screen. Let me see it on the big screen, right? One of our phenomenal individuals have a birthday, 55. Let's go.
Right.
Love, grace, and mercy. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yes, ma'am. Happy born day to you. And Makia also has a comment. Could you bring that up, Mr. B? To help me stay aware and focused on my goals, I have labeled my folders on my phone as I am. Okay, I am. Phenomenal practice.
Right.
A lot of people think and speak in ifs as opposed to I's. Champions speak in I's. I am this, I am that, I am doing this, I am accomplishing that, as opposed to if, because if leaves an exit sign. If gives options. Ifs give options. So before we come back and Junior takes us through what an evening or late afternoon looks like as far as business operations and management and what takes place or needs to take place in your business if you're not aware of it, I just want you to hold this close. The past is not predictive. The past is not predictive of future performance. Consistently assess where you are. That's what Junior said. Consistently assess where you are and be honest with yourself. And live in the present, not in the past. Stop thinking about what happened yesterday and when you were 15. Get out of that thinking. This is leadership. This is CEO-preneur. This is 2022, and it's deuce. Absolutely no excuse. Let's grow. All right. So welcome back, guys. And Junior, with no further ado, I want you to take us through kind of like a bullet point list, right? Just real quick, just give some bullet points on a summarization, right? So let's summarize what
Mhm.
takes place during the entire 12 or 24-hour cycle of day-to-day business operations, so the listeners can check off whether they're doing it or whether they need to do it or whether they know what it is, how to
Right.
implement it. Yeah,
Mhm.
just go through that and make sure that everybody has enough food on their plate.
Right. Right. Wow. Okay. So I'm gonna try to make it as simple as possible, of course. So I mean, the first thing, most people don't have a community. Most people are sort of solopreneurs. If you do have a community of people that you serve, then the first thing you want to do is look out for your people, right? When you get up early in the morning, like what's happening in the community, right? So that's what you want to check. What is the energy like? Like, if you have a team, what is the energy like with your team? If it's just you, what is the energy like with you, right? So I want to give a very quick system that anybody could use. Because what I've realized, guys, is for you to be successful throughout your day, you have to exist in state. You have to exist in state. You have to exist in a state of flow to even make it through the day, to even be sustainable and to have some kind of high performance results. So, what you want to do is you want to check your emotion, right?
Mm.
Most people, so what stops most people is emotion. When you look at potential, Shan,
I'm just laughing because I'm sure most people was listening to hear emails, set goals, answer the phones. So you're talking about emotions. Go ahead. I mean, this is I don't know. This is social emotional wellness class. Go ahead. No, explain.
okay, all right. So when you look at potential, most people are born. So potential is impacted by emotion. For example, everybody here, you are born like potential exists in, for example, your genetics in four areas. Your genetics. So you're this height, you're this big. You have your genetics in terms of your body, in terms of your mind. So everybody has an IQ, right? Everybody has an IQ that they're born with. Everybody has a body that they're born with. Apart from that, so that's not really, you can't really change that unless you work out. If you work out, you could change that. You could change your body, modify your body. So you have to work out. Next is the knowledge of yourself and the world. So, and also what it is that you're doing. So if you're doing business, your knowledge in your area of expertise. So are you knowledgeable enough to get to your goals? Do you
Mm,
even know? So you want to make it to 6 to 7 figures. Do you even know enough to make it to 7 figures? And if you don't know, like, who can you go to? Now, the reason I'm stressing on these things over the emails and all of that is because these are the things that actually are going to take you to where you want to go, not just writing an email. You understand?
mm,
These are the things that's actually going to help people, right? So, are you knowledgeable enough, right? And if you don't know enough, how can you find out enough? So
mm,
that's why you join communities like this one, where you could gain knowledge, like the leadership leverage, where we give you knowledge on what it is that you need to do to get to where you want to go. So let's assume that you have the ability, the potential based on your genetics, you have the knowledge. The next thing you need is you need to have the desire. So do you
mm,
even have the desire? And I'm talking about the innate desire and motivation to get to where it is that you want to go. I Back in the day, I used to get up in the morning and listen to like YouTube videos, motivational videos in the morning. I no longer do that. I haven't done that for years because I feel like it's a crutch. I'm intrinsically motivated to get to where I want to go. I don't need to listen to anybody scream at me, let's go, or let's do this for me to do what I need to do. I get up and I do what I need to do. So are you intrinsically motivated?
mm,
And if you're not, how can you be? Right? And then there's this fourth area of potential. All of these things impact your potential, meaning that the likelihood of you getting to where it is that you want to go. Now, this is just starting your day. So if you're a piece of paper, write this down. Write down, make 4 columns. Write down your genetics, your knowledge, your motivation, and I'm about to give you the fourth one, the emotion. What is your emotional state? What is your energy like on a scale of 0 to 10? So rate
I thought we was talking about operations. Guys, listen, this just got a whole lot deeper.
yes.
I
We'll get
want to
into the
I want to
operations, I promise.
promise you this, like this just got a whole lot deeper. What were those 4 areas again?
All right. So it's basically your genetics. So for example, like if you're not a born singer, you're not gonna be Beyonce. All right. Like guys, hate to break it to you. Some people have the talent, some people don't.
So
You could
so
be
I can't just make a choice and
you're not gonna be
beat who's Usain Bolt. I just can't jump
nah.
on the track and
Well, you can't jump on
tear
the
him
track.
apart,
I
man.
mean, you have to have some level of talent, right?
Okay.
you have to
Go
like
ahead,
if
go ahead. So I know that was
yeah,
a joke. That was a joke. So we got
yeah,
the genetics and then what else?
the knowledge. So do you have the knowledge, the expertise to get to where it is that you want to get to? So that's why you
And
sign up
then
for a program. So most people, they're like, I'm not ready to do it. I want to think about it. Da, 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 da. Like if you don't know where you want to go, how are you gonna get there? Even if you have the desire, like this is what I really want. I want to do this. Then why don't you get the knowledge that you need to get? Even if you have the motivation and you have the genetics, if you don't know how to do it, that's not gonna work. So you
wow.
have to have the knowledge to get to where it is that where you want to get to. So that's the second piece. The third piece is, are you motivated? Like, are you motivated? Is this something that's serious for you? I ask people all the time on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is this for you? So, are you motivated to get to where it is that you want to get to? And then, what is your energy like? But more specifically, what is the emotion? So, people, you hear it all the time. This is what I really want. I want this. But then the emotion is fear, um, fear, doubt, self-belief, self-disbelief, like they doubt themselves, so
Mm.
it's like
Stinking
a lack
thinking.
of yeah, it's like fear. Like I'm not sure.
The
Like I
devil
really
on multiple levels, huh?
yeah, like for example, you tell people, okay, this is what you need to do. I'm still not sure. Like they exist in that state, that emotional state. And that's what really stops people because it's like driving with 1 foot on the gas, 1 foot on the brake. So when you do that, for
Say it
example,
again. Say it one more time.
that's what gets people because they're driving with 1 foot on the gas, 1 foot on the brake.
Wow.
So anybody who drives, when you have a vehicle in park and you squeeze on the gas, it revs, right? There's a high rev. So a lot of people are revving very high during the beginning of the day, right? But they're not going anywhere because they have the emotion that's like they leave their stuff in park because they're not going anywhere. You understand? So like they're doing the most, they're motivated, they're the most motivated person they like, oh, I'm about positive thinking and my time is here to come. I see it all the time. Today is my day. My time is here to come. Um, I'm blessed and highly favored. I see all sorts of stuff. But if you don't take your foot off that emotion, if you don't reintroduce a new emotion, which is confidence, which
Mm,
is fearlessness,
mm.
then when you do that, you take your foot off the brake and that's when you take off.
Wow.
So before you begin your day, assess yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. Where are you in all 4 of these areas? So genetics is pretty, unless you work out, like I say, it's pretty much set. But your knowledge, do you have the knowledge to get to 7 figures? Do you have the motivation, the intrinsic motivation, not the pill? Like I have to listen to a YouTube video today, listen to one tomorrow. No. Do you have the intrinsic motivation to get to where it is that you want to get to? And then do you have the right emotional state? So do you exist in a state of fear, in a state of lack, in a state of, you know, disempowerment, or do
Mhm.
you exist in a state of confidence, fearlessness, no doubt?
One of the
Maybe,
words, one of the words that come to mind as you're talking that I haven't heard you say is passion,
oh, yes,
right? When
yes.
and that it goes in alignment with everything that you're saying, but if you're not motivated, maybe you haven't found that what you're passionate about yet, right? Because something needs to light you up in the morning. Where, so for myself, I probably twisted like 2 o'clock in the morning and I had to get up and I had to run and I had to get to work and I had to drive home bullet points and check boxes, like get things done from 2 o'clock this morning. So, and that happens for me consistently because I'm passionate about what I do. I'm super passionate about what I do. I'm super passionate about serving the community that I serve. So, the moment that I stir, my thoughts start, how can I make this more powerful, more productive, more conducive to success? How can I empower the community with the presentations that we're going to give? What is the next project? Guys, align yourself with that passion, because when you align yourself with that passion, you'll do everything that it takes to get the knowledge, right? You will not have to worry about motivation because you will be running out the door the moment you wake up when it comes to getting your job done, right? And what was the fourth one you said, Junior?
The fourth one is the
Oh,
emotion.
the emotion.
Emotion is the passion.
Let me tell you something. Coffee will need to drink you. Coffee will need to drink you,
Yes.
right? So when it comes to emotion, again, I'm going to say neutral, neutral, as opposed to the high level of positivity, because a lot of that stuff, it's not sustainable. A lot, what's sustainable is passion, and what's sustainable is also like the bipartisanship, the neutrality. That's the emotion, right? You want to be a little bit cold, decisive, and driven, because when things go wrong or when things go right, you should be unmoved by it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. Because if you're affected by it, if the day rains, now you're in the bed.
Yeah.
If it rains, now you're in the bed. If the sun comes out, now you're joyous. If it's somebody's birthday, now you're joyous. But if somebody passes away, now you smashed and
Yes.
you can't produce.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you kind of like a light switch, and anything that happens, you're conditioned by the conditions. This is when people are born out of their circumstances and environment. You want to be born out of your decisions and your choices and your
That's
discipline.
That's right. And Shaan, you're 100% right. Now, guys, let me put some flames in the chat if you've been enjoying this so far. I want to go a little bit over this morning because I want to make sure I give you the actual things, right? But if this is good, put some flames in the chat. Put some flames in the chat if this is good. Because if I told you, hey, just go write some emails, do this, do that, like nothing's gonna happen for
Yeah,
you.
you're right. Yeah,
So
this
we
is the
have to
right
cover
way.
this
You're right.
first. We have to cover this
100%.
first. We had to cover this piece first, right? So now that you have that taken care of, let me give you a key. One thing I've learned is you win today. Okay. You win today by taking care of today, yesterday. For example, I don't wait in the morning to do emails. I prepare for my success the previous day. I prepare for my success at the beginning of the week. All of my emails, they're set from Sunday and they go out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Mm.
Write that down. You prepare for success. Failure to prepare is preparation for failure.
Hmm.
So I'm sure nobody saw that coming.
Nope.
Failure to
Say that
prepare,
again. Say it one more
failure
time.
to prepare is preparation for failure. I prepare my emails the day before or in advance for the coming day. So I don't have to do it on the actual day. What you want to do, what you want to do is you every day you begin every day with obstacles. You as a boss, as a CEO, your job is to remove as many obstacles for yourself and your team as possible. So you remove obstacles for yourself, meaning you try to remove the minuscule things, the tedious things from your activity as much as possible during that day so you could focus on the numbers.
Mm.
So I don't wait in the morning to do emails. My emails are already set in the morning. And on that morning, I'm focusing on sales.
Mm.
See what I'm saying?
Revenue.
Because it's like, imagine, so for my artists here, the people who paint, people who draw, imagine having to start a piece and then stopping to turn to do something else and then turning back to continue painting. It's the same thing. It doesn't look like when you're painting, you paint. When you're doing sales, you're doing sales. When you're doing marketing, you're doing marketing. So you have to manage your time, plan out the activities to ensure that you're set up for the day before you begin the day. And that's how you win the day. So the emails, the but most of it should be sales. I can't stress it enough. Sales, sales, sales. You have
Wow.
to get
Wow.
sales
Now
because sales is
you
the
saying
lifeblood of business.
you're saying a lot, man. Say that again, please. Guys, write
Which
this
part?
down and underline it. Write this down and underline it because this is the part that's uncomfortable. And because it's uncomfortable and you don't like it, you don't do it, and your business, you're wondering why it's not successful. Go ahead, please say that again.
Do you mean the sales part?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you are not in the coaching business. You are in the selling of coaching business. That's what you're in. If
You
you're a
said
coach,
you said the majority of your day.
yes, is spent on sales because that's what's gonna move the needle. Sales takes care of everything. Sales
Let
allow
me
you to serve your clients.
we're gonna go deep for a minute, but I want you to know this, guys. The more success you have, the more time you might have to lean out of it for a moment. But when you're just beginning and your success is low and you're just getting started, what is the main thing you got to focus on, Junior?
Sales,
Say it
sales,
again.
sales, sales, sales.
Thank you.
That's why
Revenue.
now, Shan, I wanna help some people there because a lot of
Please
people
do.
they have this negative idea of sales. We call that so if you never taken monkey mind versus money mind, then you probably might need to watch that. So
Mm.
I say sales. A lot of people think sales is like, slimy or sleazy or something like that. It's not. And let me tell you why. Everybody here, everybody looking at me now, all of you have a comfort zone. Every single person here has a comfort zone. Like imagine it like a circle, right? And as they approach that comfort, it's like a little barrier. You remember in Wakanda, they had the thing, the barrier around.
Yeah.
It's
Talk
like a
about
little barrier.
Wakanda. Go ahead.
It's like a little barrier. Everybody has a barrier. They have their own comfort zone. Now, when you sell, what you are doing is you're facilitating somebody moving out of their comfort zone and expanding into a new comfort zone. For example, if you've never bought a program for $30,000 and I say, okay, this costs 30K, what would you like to do? You're like, oh, this costs $30,000. Like, this is too much. So what you're experiencing, guys, like realistically, what you're experiencing is you're experiencing you coming in contact with the edge of your comfort zone, that little barrier, that little circle, right? Now you have to make the decision. If you want to go to a new level of life, it does not exist in this tiny little bubble. It exists outside.
Mm.
So it's not even about the money on the end of the client. It's not about the money. It's about them expanding to a new comfort zone. Because when
Mm.
you sell them and the greater the package you sell, the bigger the comfort zone expands. Because once they could expand their comfort zone and 40,000 becomes like, okay, that's no money. Now they could turn around in the market and say, my stuff costs $40,000. What would you like to do? Because it's nothing to them. But if they stay in the $5,000 range, they could never see themselves charging anything more than 5K. So the quickest way to sell high ticket is to buy high ticket. Now, when you sell, You help somebody to expand their comfort zone and see life in a different way. As human beings, when we are faced with a challenge, two things happen: either we die or we rise to the occasion. Most times you don't die, most times you rise to the occasion. So even if people say this to me all the time, I don't know how I'm going to do it, it's not possible, let me think about it. But what they're going to find is, if they want to get to where they want to go, like, and this is the same people that say I want to make seven figures, they're
Yeah.
gonna come head to head with this same comfort zone again.
Over and over.
Yeah, I mean, even if you don't spend it with coaching, you have to spend it in monthly expenses. Do you think a business that is seven figures doesn't have at least five-figure expenses per month? Like, you're
Listen,
gonna
guys.
spend five figures a month on just expenses if you want to go to seven figures. So you have to get comfortable with money. You have to
It
get
takes
comfortable
what it
with money.
takes.
So you're actually helping people. People think like you're trying to take something from them. It's the funniest thing. When the money comes in, I don't even see it. It's like we don't see the money. I don't even notice it. You
That's
understand?
another thing. Let them know, like, when you learn really this business, the sooner you get over this, the sooner you get to start really expanding, and we can have some deeper conversations, right? Because once you get the closes that you're looking to get, and you actually make the sales, now the job becomes to grow your business. So you
Yeah.
can't save the money or stack the money or let the money set. You've got to use the money for fuel, like Junior was saying, when you're in midair, because now you're off the ground.
Yes.
And so to stay off the ground, you ever seen the movie where the plane comes and it fuels the jet while they're both in air, while they're both
Exactly.
in midair?
Exactly. Exactly.
That's what it looks like for you to keep going.
Yes.
That's what it looks
Yes.
like for your business to keep going and for your business to keep growing.
And
Because
check
the
this out,
moment your
Sean.
sales stop,
And check this out too.
you
When
drop.
you Yeah.
Go ahead.
And when you expand that, like, let's say you've never bought a product of that um, cost. When you do that, you expand your potential
Mm.
because you have the context of what it takes to develop a $40,000 product. How could you develop a 40K product or 100K product if you don't have the context of what it looks like? Now that you're in it and you have the context of it, you could develop it and sell it 10 times.
Hold on,
For
hold on,
example,
hold on,
if
hold
I,
on, hold 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 on. You said 10 times. So you're
yeah,
saying that someone can come and get something for 30K and then turn around and make 300K.
yeah. I mean, for example, if I now that I have the context of, let's say, this cup, like, if I never came into contact with this cup, I had no idea, I couldn't imagine what it looks like. I'm like, okay, I could never sell it or something like it. But now that I've come into contact with it, I know what it's shaped like, I know what it does, I know the functionality, I know what's in it. I could recreate it in my own way.
Hold on, hold on. We going too deep, man. We
All
going
right,
too deep.
all
It's
right,
9/11. It's 9/11. We
okay,
going
all
too
right, all
deep.
right,
We
I'm
going,
done.
we
I'm
going
done,
way too
guys.
deep. Hold on. Guys, put it in the chat if you just caught what he said.
All right, I'm done. I
If
promise.
you
I'm done.
just caught, if you caught what he said, put some flames in the chat. Put it in the chat if you just caught what he says. Say it one more time. Rewind that. Bring that back one time. Say it one more time, and then we're going to close 9:15. You got 3 minutes.
Guys, so what I'm saying is this: content, context. For you to build something, you have to have the context of it. When you sell something for someone that costs, when you sell your services, 40,000, 100,000, 250,000, whatever it
Use
is.
use the cup, Junior. Use
Use the
use the
cup.
cup.
Let me use the cup.
Use the
If
cup.
you never
Make
came
it
into
simple. Go
contact,
ahead.
if you never came into contact with this cup, like, you never knew what it was. Like, there's stuff that exists right now that I've never seen. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know what it like right now as I'm talking to you. There's stuff that I've never seen. So I don't know what color it is. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know what it tastes like. I don't know what it feels like. I can't create it because I don't know what it is. I have no context of it. But when you come into contact with it, and you get the context of it, you could recreate it in your own way. So everybody here looking, you could come into the leverage. You could get a program, any program, for 100K. And now that you know what it takes to build a 100K program because you're in it, you can recreate it. So in other words, the only way you don't make money is if you don't know how to make money. Simple. So when people say, "Oh, this is too expensive," or da 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 da, what they're saying is like, "I don't know how to monetize it." That's all they're saying, because it's not too expensive. It's not too much. You can rise to the occasion. You can find a way to do it. But are you going to allow your emotion, right, to hold you back? Are you going to keep your foot on the brake, or are you going to take off the brake so you could take off? That's the question you have to ask yourself.
Wow, 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 man. Listen, listen. I hope that this has been I know it's been fundamental. I know it's been phenomenal. I hope that you have got at least what you need to move the needle in your business. I hope you interpret it as that, right? I hope you interpret it as that and begin to implement what you've learned as far as the genetics, the knowledge, the motivation, the emotion. We talked about neutral thinking. We talked about not being impacted or having your foot on the brakes because of yesterday, while you've got your foot on the gas trying to build a future because it's unconducive and you can't move in two directions at the same time. You can't exist in two spaces at the same time. So you can't perform in the present if you're living in the past. It's impossible to move on to a phenomenal future. It's impossible to move on to a phenomenal future if you're existing in the past, because that takes away from your present performance. We talked about productivity, profitability, predictability, potential.
Yes, sir.
And
Can I add one quote, Shan? I want to quote everybody who saw the Avengers. Thanos said something. You remember what that was, Shan?
Say it again.
Thanos
Say it
said
again. No, no, no. Say what you asked me again.
in the I think it was the Avengers movie, right?
Okay.
You know Thanos, right?
Of course.
Guy of the Stones. He
That's
said
my
something.
joint. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The five
Yeah,
songs.
yeah, right. So he said something um in the movie that was so spot on. Do you know what it is? It talks about about the past.
Say it.
Thanos'
He
interpretation of the
said
past.
so much. I mean, that's one of my movies. I got the
Yeah.
monologue on cap. So go ahead.
So he said, as long as there are those who remember what was, there will always be those who cannot accept what could be.
Take us out of here, Mr. B. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Junior. Thank you for your time and your service.